Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's lesson, we're diving into solving rational equations, those tricky equations with all those variables in the denominator. I'll show you how to eliminate fractions, find common denominators, and most importantly, how to check for extraneous solutions that could trip you up. So if you're preparing for a quiz or brushing up for class, the step-by-step walkthrough will make things a lot easier. So let's dive right in. So here what we're going to do is look at just a couple steps that we need to solve a rational equation. Now the first thing you want to identify is the possible extraneous solutions. So just remember that this is what x can't be. The next thing we want to do is we want to identify the least common denominator, or the LCD. And then you're going to multiply every term by the LCD. Now, why do we want to do that? Is because we want the denominators to cancel. And then, of course, check for extraneous solutions. So let's go ahead and look at this question together. So the first thing you want to do is figure out what x cannot be. So in this case, x cannot be 6 due to whatever we have in our denominator of the one fraction that we have. So the next thing we want to do is identify the least common denominator, so the LCD. So I just have over 1 on the fraction, but then I do have an x minus 6. So that's my LCD. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every term by that LCD. So we got x minus 6 times x minus 6 times x minus 6. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and see what cancels. So this x minus 6 cancels. So let's multiply x times x minus 6 minus 4 is equal to 1 times x minus 6. Now you're going to go ahead and solve. So we're going to distribute first. X squared minus 6x minus 4 is equal to x minus 6. You have a quadratic, so we got to get this equal to 0 in order to solve this. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I'm going to add 6. So I get 0 on the right side, and then you get x squared minus 7x plus 2. Now when you look at that, you're going to go ahead and see, well, to solve a quadratic, I can either factor or use quadratic formula. So here, I can't factor this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my quadratic formula. So I have x equals the opposite of b, so that's a positive 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a, or 2 times 1. So as you simplify this, you get 7 plus or minus, we get 49 minus 8, all divided by 2, and x equals 7 plus or minus the square root of 41, all divided by 2. You cannot simplify that radical or simplify the fraction, so this is my final answer. And then as you look to compare what x cannot be 6, but that's not the answer that we got. So here is my solution. So here, let's look at this question. What we have is, again, looking at what x cannot be. So x cannot be 1, or it cannot be 3. And my least common denominator is going to have 1 of everything in the denominator. So I need an x minus 1 and an x minus 3. You're going to go ahead and multiply every term by the LCD. And then you're going to look and see what cancels out. So my x minus 1's cancel, so I have x times x minus 3 equals my x minus 1 cancels 1 times x minus 3 minus x minus 3 cancel 1 times x minus 1. So now let's simplify. You got x squared minus 3x equals 1x minus 3 minus 1x plus 1. So what you'll see is that your x's are going to cancel. You're going to get a negative 2 on the right-hand side. So I need to add 2 to both sides. So you get x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So what you would do is you would go ahead and look and to see if you can factor this. So this one is factorable. So you're going to get x minus 2 and x minus 1. You will get two answers. So your first answer is going to be x equals 2. The second one will be a positive 1. But we already know that x cannot be 1. So that is our extraneous solution. And the only solution that we have is x is equal to 2. Okay, so now you might have a rational equation that has the form given. So you have one fraction equal to another fraction. So what you can do is you can actually cross multiply. You can cross multiply, and that is what more commonly we know as doing the butterfly. So you have a proportion equal to a proportion. You're still going to go ahead and check for extraneous solutions as well. So you got to make sure you do that in the beginning. So the very first thing we're going to see is that x cannot be a negative 2, and it also cannot be 0. So that's based on, again, our denominators. We're going to do our butterfly. So we're going to multiply diagonally. So 3x times 2x plus 3 equals, multiply diagonally. You have x plus 2, and then 6x minus 1. So when we can go ahead and distribute here, you have 6x squared plus 9x. You can again FOIL, or you can do the box method. You would get 6x squared minus 1x plus 12x minus 2. Let's go ahead and combine some of our like terms. We are going to have 6x squared. You're going to have a plus 11x minus 2. And then if I subtract 6x squared on both sides, those will cancel out. So I'm good there, which leaves me only one variable. So I'm going to move my 11x to the other side. So I'm going to get negative 2x is equal to a negative 2. When I solve, I'm going to get x is equal to 1. Go ahead and check for extraneous solutions. I'm good here, so my final answer is going to be x is equal to 1. And that's how you solve rational equations. Remember, always check your answers to make sure they don't make the denominator 0. It's the number one place students lose points. If this tutorial helped, hit that like button and leave a comment with a problem you want help with. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss another math breakdown. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.